and worried about a man that's walking in front of her. You know, she worried about us. You don't understand the scriptures. You know, there's a woman for you. See, they able to talk like that and act like that because they got the freedom, man. You got done. See, this how crazy the so-called American people lie, man. Okay, this is how crazy they are. They don't even know that the masses of them don't even know that you got a senator, okay? I mean, you got matter of fact, look it up for me, bro. Let me make sure. Go to Google and mention UN troop in Chicago. I couldn't remember if he was a commissioner or a senator, or I just want to get it right. UN troop called to Chicago. I just want to get it right. Click on it. Yeah. I think his name Boykins. Well, he wanted to bring the UN troops to Chicago. Okay. Commissioner. Okay. That's a commissioner in Crook County. Okay, in Crook County, a commissioner in Crook County, his name Boykins. I don't see his name up here, but I glanced at it. I think his name Boykins. Okay, but he's a commissioner and in Crook County, and he want the UN troops to come to Chicago, man. Okay? He want the UN troops to come to Chicago. And the reason why, Boykins began calling for UN troops in Chicago this week. Okay? So that's a commissioner in Crook County calling for UN troops. That's just an article that we picked up. It's on News America. That's the article, bro. All right, if you want to show it to them on the camera. News America, that's what we're looking at. You brothers can read it, but it's News America, right? But that's on there. But the reason why I mention them is because, see, during that time of martial law, you're not going to have women bold enough to walk by and talk to men. You know what I'm saying? In boldness, okay? Because that was in boldness what she was doing. But in that day, during the time of martial law, right, these women are not going to be in boldness to talk to men like that who's standing around. They ain't going to be like that, man. They going to tuck themselves, you know, like little kids, like they used to teach you in these schools when a tornado is coming, put your head between your legs. So that's what it's going to be in that day. But when give me that martial law sign. Okay, so when these martial law troops come to America, okay, you're not gonna have these people walking around and these women walking around in boldness. Nah, you ain't gonna have that. So I just wanted to bring that out. Yeah, you got a commissioner in Crook County in Illinois calling for the UN to intervene in Illinois, man. Okay. So the masses of the people are asleep and playing video games and don't know what's going on, but martial law is a biblical prophecy and it's going to be declared in America, man. Okay? If you don't know what martial law is, that's what it's going to look like. Police and military force on the streets, okay? And you people going to go into concentration camp and they're going to put you in guillotines, right? If you don't know what a guillotine is, there it is right there. They're gonna put you in a guillotine and chop your head off, okay? In them concentration camps, okay? They call them re-education camps, okay? In prison. That's what it's gonna be, man. But going back to what I was into, you know what I'm saying? All right, the water. All right. This Matthew 10 and 5. These 12, I read it verbatim, right? These 12, Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way. Let me start back up. He's gone down the street. Okay? This Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 YAHAWASHI sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not. Okay? Which we know it wasn't no J in the Hebrew. Okay? And that's a transliteration. Okay? This is a transliteration from the Greek. Okay? And it wasn't no J in the Hebrew, and the Lord himself did not speak Greek. Okay? This is transliteration. It's translated from the Greek into English. And the Lord himself did not speak Greek. Okay? You got a difference. You got translation, you got a translation, you got transliteration. Okay? There's a difference. You don't know what it is, look it up. But I explained some of it to you. This is Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 YAHAWASHI sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of Samaria, enter ye not. Now, what it is you had the reason why he was saying that is because you had heathens in there and you had Israelites in there, okay, in Samaria. So that's why he was saying that, okay. You had heathens in there and you had Israelites in there. And Samaria was named after an Israelite. Now, to find that out, you can read 1 Kings 16 and 24 up in that area. 1 Kings 16 and 24. And it'll tell you how Samaria got its name. But it was named after an Israelite. All right? And you had Israelites in that land. Now, when you go into a map with the 12 tribes of Israel and their inheritance in their land, the land that they got, that land was Manasseh's land. And the people that biblical nationality, which is Manasseh, are who you call the so-called Cubans today. So Samaria was a land of who you call the so-called Cubans. Okay, that's who was in the land of Samaria before the 10 tribes came on this side. Okay, this is Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 YAHAWASHI sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Verse 7. And as ye go preaching, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Verse 8. Heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. So what it is YAHAWASHI was telling them, okay, to go, okay, to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay? That's what he was telling them. Now, when you read in the scriptures and you put precept upon precept, you find out that eventually they went into Samaria because you had heathens in there, you had actual Gentiles in there, okay? And you had actual Israelites in there, okay? But you got to have a discernment, okay? Because sometimes the word Gentile is placed on Israelites and sometimes is placed on the other nation. So you got to have discernment, man. Okay? You got to have discernment. Now, to prove my point that who the world illiterate called Jesus had went in there, and we know our Savior is not bipolar. Okay? We know that. So, what I got you loaded with? I was trying to remember. Okay. All right. This John, we're going to go to John 4 and we're going to go to John the 4th chapter. Right? Now let's see if who the world illiterate called Jesus, right, dealt with people in Samaria. Okay? Let's see if he was off or he was bipolar. Okay? Because the scriptures we know are true, and we know the Lord himself is not bipolar. Okay? Let's see if he went in Samaria. All right? Now this is a woman at a well, right? This is the woman at a well, and YAHAWASHI is talking to her after their long journey. So he came to the well, right, which I'm about to read. Now you got to remember, this after his long journey, and he's in Samaria right now. Okay, he's in Samaria right now, which is the land of Manasseh, which are the so-called Cubans. Okay, this is John 4 and 8. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. YAHAWASHI saith unto her, give me to drink. Right? Because you got to remember, he's on a long, he come from a long journey, and he's at that well getting something to drink. And knowing YAHAWASHI, he was an austere man, and you know he was looking rough. So you know the women that look, he on a long journey and he looking rough, you know, and he telling her, look, give me something to drink. You know? Give me something to drink, woman. You know? So this right here, this is John 4 and verse 7. There came a woman of Samaria to draw water. YAHAWASHI said unto her, give me to drink. Verse, I'll read that again. There came a woman of Samaria to draw water. YAHAWASHI said unto her, give me to drink. Verse 8, for the disciples were going away unto the city to buy meat. So what city did they go into? Samaria. They was there. And now you got to remember, YAHAWASHI came from that long journey, and he was on the outskirts. Okay? He didn't actually go in the city, but the disciples went into the city. Okay? It says, then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? Question. For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. Okay? Because you had Israelites back then looked at the people in Samaria as heathens. Okay? But you had Israelites in there, and you had actual heathens in there. So you had the Israelites, who was the leaders over Israel, look at the people in general in Samaria as nothing but heathens. So that's why the woman is saying that. Now you got this in the Apocrypha, right? This is Sirach 50. Sirach 50. Now I'm going to show you the thought process of Jacob back then when they looked at people that was in Samaria. Okay? That's why she acting like that. Okay? This is Sirach 50 and 26. They that sat upon the mountain of Samaria, and they that dwelt among the Philistines and that foolish people, they dwelt in Sikkim, right? So when you look up the word Sikkim, that's where who the word Indian called Jesus was. Okay, that's where it was, and that's where the well was. You can Google it, right? It's S-I-C-H-E-M. Okay, and that's in the land of Manasseh. So the Israelites looked at the key word is in Samaria and foolish people. So the Israelites looked at the people that was in Samaria. You had Israelites, you had heathens in there. Looked at the people in there as if they were foolish, they didn't understand the custom, they didn't know the Most High, and they was out of there. Okay? That's the way they looked at them. So that was a thought process on the Israelites, leaders who knew they was Israelites. Okay? They looked at the people in Samaria as foolish. Okay? And that's Sirach 50 and 26. That's what I just read. Okay? So going back over now to John, right? John 4 and 9. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? Question. For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. So the leaders of Israel, like I was explaining, looked at the people that was in Samaria as foolish, okay? And they didn't understand the Most High and His Son, and you know, they were vain, okay? That's the way they looked at them back then, okay? That's why she saying that, okay? Then it says, verse 10, Jesus answered, which we know that's not his real name. I just said that. I'm just reading it verbatim. You got heathens out here, which I said is YAHAWASHI, but this John 4 and 10. YAHAWASHI answered and said unto her, if thou knowest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. So what he doing is he messing with her. You know what I'm saying? This is like you see Jake, when people come up to try to debate us in the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? We might play on it to mess with him. So that's what who the word Indian called Jesus is doing. He's playing on it and he's messing with her. But it's a purpose why he's doing it. And you're going to find out why he's doing it. Okay? He's playing, which she wasn't no Israelite woman. Okay? She was an actual heathen. But the point is who the word Indian called Jesus, he was on the outskirts of Samaria. Okay? This is why I'm reading it. Because I left John 10, right? I left Matthew 10, right? And went to John, the 4th chapter. So I'm explaining to you what's going on, okay? But he's playing on it, okay? He's messing with it, okay? And he said, this John, well, she wasn't no Israelite woman, okay? This John 4 and 10, YAHAWASHI answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of the Most High, and who it is that saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldst have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. Okay? Verse 11. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? So you got to remember, he messing with her And she looking at him after his journey, and he tired, and he probably looking rough. You know what I'm saying? So she looking at him like, you ain't even know, how you gonna get some water? You know, what you talking about living water? How you gonna get some water? You know? So she don't even understand what's going on, but he playing on it, right? It says, verse 11, the woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou the living water? Verse 12, art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself and his children and his cattle? Verse 13, YAHAWASHI answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. So everything that who the world enemy called Jesus was moving in the spirit, man. He was moving, and everything he was doing, he was moving in the spirit, man. He was playing on it, and he was moving in the spirit. So he took that water, that drinking water, and hit her with a parable that went over her head that she didn't even understand about the living water that was gonna have her live forever. But you gotta remember, she's not an Israelite, okay? She's a heathen, okay? You gotta remember that. So he's playing on it, okay? And it says, verse 13, this is John 4:13. Then YAHAWASHI answered and said unto her, whosoever drink of this water shall thirst again. Verse 14, but whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. So she's saying, how you gonna give me some water? You ain't even got nothing to get that water out with, and the well is deep. So she don't even understand what's going on. Don't have a clue. Okay? She don't have a clue. But there was the foolish Samaritan, okay, that was in that land. Now you got, that was the foolish heathen that was in that land of Samaria, okay? And like I said, you had Israelites in that land, and you had heathens in that land, okay? Now you got to remember, during the time of 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, when the northern kingdom was taken into captivity up under the Assyrian authority, the Syrian king put heathens in that land. When you read 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, okay, and you had a Levite that had to go teach them heathens our customs, right? You had a Levite that had to go teach them heathens our customs, right? And because the Most High sent lions upon them, okay, if they didn't keep our customs, but they didn't keep them, okay? But that's where you get them Philistia Jews from too, okay? Them Ethiopians that say they are descendants of Israel. Over periods of time, they were telling their kids that, you know, but hey, that goes back to the 2 Kings 17th chapter. Them Philistia Jews, man. They not the real Israelites, man. They're not descendants of Israelites. Now, I will tell you this. You got Israelites among them Ethiopians because we scattered everywhere. We're showing the Isaiah 11 and 11. Okay? Now, going back to John 4 and 12. Art thou greater than our father Jacob? Well, that's a lie. Which gave us the well to drink thereof himself and his children and his cattle. And YAHAWASHI answered and said unto her, whosoever drink of this water shall thirst again. But whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Then the woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water that I thirst not, neither cometh hither to draw. Yahawashi saith unto her, Go call thy husband and come hither. Because, like I said, you had Israelites in that land, okay? And you can see that he said, go call your husband. Because 9 times out of 10, this woman was dealing with Israelite men, okay? This heathen woman was dealing with Israelite men. Going back to going back to 1st Ezra, the 8th chapter, Israel now have put away the pollution of the Gentiles, okay? And one of the pollutions of the Gentiles is marrying them heathen women, okay? And putting them in the status as an Israelite woman, okay? But this woman here that we're talking about is a harlot.